Hello and welcome to the channel's book club. Thank you for joining us once again. Gbonjubola Sanni is an SME and personal finance management expert who is also a much regarded financial literacy advocate for children. Adeolu Akinyemi is an entrepreneur, trainer, and educator. He is currently the managing director of Avenues to Wealth Nigeria and the entire West African region. Together, these respected young leaders have written a book titled ABC of Financial Intelligence for Toddlers, which is aimed at helping children start out with the basics of financial intelligence using letters of the alphabet. The two authors joined us to discuss their book and issues raised by its theme. Please join us after this break. Thank you very much for coming on the channel's book club. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
I've never seen books like this in Nigeria at all. So let me commend you for writing this. ABC of Financial Intelligence for Toddlers, ABC of Financial Intelligence for Kids, ages 5 to 12 years. It's fascinating. What inspired you to write books like this?
Well, I'll start. She'll finish it up. The essential ideology came from the fact that financial intelligence is missing in the Nigerian curriculum. It is missing in universities, it's missing in secondary school. So it started out by us trying to fix adults. And the more we fix adults, the more we try to fix adults, the more we realize that these habits are really deep-seated and foundational. So at that point, she became quite passionate about, let's try and fix it from earlier on, so that the work for adults is easier. So she came up with the idea as an inspiration to say, look, let's get to this particular spectrum of society and try and fix the child, and then we'll fix the adult. So that's how it started. It started with the passion to enlighten and educate people on financial intelligence, and then it became something that we've done over seminars for over 20,000 adults. Wow. And then the passion came to say, you know what, this is a lot of work. Why don't we fix the child? So she'll take it from there.
I grew up from a background where you needed to work and needed to understand how money came about. And then from, I think as early as 15 years old, I knew the concept of saving and all these things. And for me, when we started the classes, it said for adults, I was dazed, that a lot of adults don't even know what savings are. People have worked for 25 years. There's nothing to show for it. There's so much torture in their minds when they think about money. And I'm very particular about foundation of things, I don't want to look at it the way it is now. I'm thinking, how can we mend it? And then the only way to mend it is to fix the children, Very difficult to tell an adult to change his ways. He will struggle, there'll be a lot of struggle. But if you can get to the children, they can start out right and get it right.
This is very interesting. We'll come back to the children. I will dwell on the children for quite some time on this interview. But let's go back to the fundamentals. How important is it for people to acquire financial intelligence?
Well, I think it's one of the most important things in the world. And I don't say that lightly. We live in a world where, whether we like it or not, whether we like money or not, whether we want to spend money or not, the only way to get the things you want is finance. Now, finance holds a central space in society. People say they are earning a living. That means what they collect as cash is equivalent to their lives. That's how important money is. Now, unfortunately, you interact with people, and my interaction over the last 4 years has demonstrated to me that the average person does not have a reserve. The average person is not building assets. The average person can work for 20 years without a balance sheet. That all the fanciful financials is good for the company, but the individuals are left out. Now, the good book says, he that cannot manage unrighteous mammon cannot even handle true riches. I tell people, financial mastery is the prerequisite for being able to govern a city. The reason why we have problems in Nigeria in different cities is possibly because the people who are managing a lot of resources have not demonstrated capacity to manage those resources within a smaller framework. Financial intelligence is important, it's incredibly important. So interacting with people, you realize that 90% of people don't even have clarity about what their financial goals ought to be. Many people are not in control of their expenses, they spend as it comes. Many people don't have any control of their income, they earn their salaries. Many people are not regularly creating reserve, they basically take things as it goes. So, of course, those kind of challenges all over the place, counseling sessions, seminars, reveals, wow, there's a big problem here. And if you check the curriculum, quite fairly, nobody was ever taught in any classroom that this is what you should do with your money. The most important topic after we graduate from school was completely left out. People say, back in school, we ask ourselves, why are you studying engineering? And the answer is so that I can become a good engineer. But the real answer is so that I can get a good job that pays a good salary, so that I can make ends meet. But nobody taught anybody how to take on that resource and manage your life in such a way that in 10 years, you can be free to resign from whatever it is that you are laboring at and do what you really want to do.
Okay, now I noticed from your books, there's one for toddlers and there's one for 5 to 12 years of age. Are you saying that right from the age of toddlers, parents start teaching kids how to handle money? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. As soon as a child can count, he can learn about money. He or she can learn about money. So from age 2 is important. Another reason why it's very important from toddler age is the fact that though that's the period when a child starts to speak, and your language goes a long way to say what you will become. So when a child starts to say the right things, and words are free anyway, starts to say the right things from that age, understands the right concepts, it's a foundation for the years to come. Okay, so that's why we started from the toddler age.
What have you experienced so far from this adventure of teaching kids, after you wrote this book, teaching kids about the importance of money and their parents too?
Well, my take is it provides an opportunity for the parents to also learn, because you can't teach what you don't understand. And because children will ask you questions, then you better have the answers or be able to guide them and lead them to the answers. My little research shows that many of the people who are doing well financially actually started quite early. From, Rockefeller would tell you that they taught them as early as 4 how to save, how to account for every penny, how to be able to give value in exchange for cash. I go back in my own journey, my own personal journey. I already had interaction intelligently with money at 4, 5. Now, it looks early, but it's the best time to get them, like you said, on the right vocabulary, get them familiar with it. In my home, my children have their accounts, they have their piggy banks, and they have what they do. They have chores that they do that they get paid on. I was asking my daughter, I said, why don't you go and buy this with your money? She said, no, I'm saving it. So there's that consciousness already there. Because that consciousness needs to be there, that language needs to be there. Many parents are not involved in their children's education. We have paid $350,000 and handed responsibility for our children's future to teachers who don't even really understand anything about money as well. So it's an opportunity to bond. It's been an interesting journey. She will have more of the practical examples with toddlers, because the book was written when I had gone a bit beyond the stage of toddlers. Yeah, children about 6 and 9. But the children, they're learning, they're saying, okay, so how does this work? How does this, how do I do this? And those kind of things. So the questions come. As parents, you need to be armed with the answers. And the book provides you the opportunity to be able to bond with your child on something that will very well become one of the most important topics for them when they finish from school. So it's been an exciting journey.
Finally, what do you think we should do to our educational system to inculcate these very important subjects, financial intelligence for kids? I think some private schools deal with these subjects. I'm not very sure, but I don't think it's there at all in our public schools.
It's not in the public schools. After we did the book, I tried to do some research, because the goal is to, in as much as we want it in homes, is to also drive it through schools, such that the children can learn it and the parents can be forced to support in that area. And I was surprised to discover UK, US just started to put it in their curriculum too.
Interesting.
So it's not even in the, it wasn't in the school curriculum in the developed countries. You know, they want to take it in this year and put it in the way UK, US wants to do it is to have it in every subject. You know, such that when we are talking mathematics, we have something about money to relate to it. When we're talking about English, and then that's relating the subjects in school to the real life.
Build it into the entire.
Yes, that's the idea. I know some private schools have it, but you know, it's the up-end private schools, not even the lower-end ones, not the ones most of the people go to. So at the end of the day, not all the children still get to learn it. And most of the people at the high-end private schools are children of very well-to-do people who are already putting their children through even at home. The private schools don't have it, most of them, and then the public schools too don't have it.
I wish we had more time to talk about this, but unfortunately we're out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Thank you very much.